The scariest way to die isn't death itself, it's dying and your soul not knowing it's over. If you hear footsteps in an abandoned hospital, don't run. It might just be the doctor who believes his shift isn't over and his patients are still waiting. What's worse than a death sentence? Being trapped in the solitary confinement of your own mind, never realizing you're already gone. What happens when a soldier's duty doesn't end, even after the final whistle of the war has blown? In this abandoned hall, a white dress glows in the dark, a bride still searching for her smile in the mirror, unaware that death took her before she could ever say, "I do." Everyone thinks he vanished in these woods years ago, but he's still there, standing among the trees and waiting to be saved, never realizing that death already found him first. Number 5. The doctor who never finished their shift. They say the night shift never truly ended for him. He still walks these halls, believing patients are waiting. At 3:03 a.m., time froze, but he didn't notice. To him, it's just another busy night. Witnesses claim the machines respond when he's near, as if the hospital itself remembers him. The elevator still moves in the middle of the night, carrying a doctor no one can see clearly. He prepares for surgery with steady hands, unaware the operation ended years ago. In the parking garage, some believe he's still searching for his car after a long shift. When he finds his own file, he reads it calmly, like it belongs to someone else. Every exit promises freedom, but somehow leads him back inside. His name still hangs in the locker room, though no voice has called it in years. At sunrise, he believes he can finally rest, but when night returns, so does his shift. Number 4. The executed prisoner. This prison was closed years ago, but some say one inmate never realized his sentence had already ended. Every night, he returns to the same cell, waiting for a guard who will never call his name again. The clock stopped at 3:17, and for him, time has never moved forward since. He still sits at the table, believing someone will come in and explain what happens next. Each night feels like the night before something important, but nothing ever changes. He walks toward the final door, thinking tomorrow is waiting on the other side. At dawn, he stands for roll call, unaware that his name is no longer on the list. Sometimes the lights flicker, as if the prison itself remembers what he cannot. When the sun rises, he fades away, but only until darkness brings him back again. Some spirits don't haunt out of anger, they haunt because they're still waiting for the next instruction. Number 3. The war soldier. He stood in the fog every morning, believing the war was still waiting for him. Night after night, he walked the same broken streets, searching for a battle that had already ended. He listened to the radio for answers, not knowing no one would ever reply. From the tower, he watched the empty land, still protecting a border that no longer existed. He read the letters again and again, wishing he could finally send them home. Every night, he waited by the fire, hoping his friends would return. When his name was called, he answered alone, surrounded only by memories. For him, time stopped in the snow, and the battle never moved on. Holding the medal, he wondered if anyone remembered what he had sacrificed. At last, he saluted the sunrise, finally understanding that his war was over. Number 2. The Slain Bride. The hall has been empty for years, but she still stands at the end of the aisle, waiting for the ceremony to begin. In the dressing room mirror, she adjusts her veil, unaware that the reflection moves a moment too late. Every night, she walks down the aisle again, as if the vows are about to be spoken. The clock stopped at 12:35, and for her, that moment never moved forward. She reaches for the ring, still trying to complete a promise time refused to finish. Behind the fogged windows, she dances alone, as if the music is still playing somewhere. Beneath her veil, her eyes searched the empty room for someone who never arrived. In the mirror, the guests appear for just a second, a memory pretending to be real. As the first light of morning enters, she fades, believing the night was only a pause. As the first light of morning enters, she fades, believing the night was only a pause. Number 1. The Lost Child. Every night he returned to the playground, still waiting for someone to come and find him. He sat at his desk every morning, believing school would start again. He followed a familiar voice, never knowing it would lead him away forever. He watched his parents search for him, wishing he could tell them he was right there.
Where is he? Evan!
We'll find him, honey. We have to.
In every reflection, he tried to understand what had happened to him. He walked through endless halls, hoping one door would take him home. He thought he was only sleeping, unaware he would never wake up. People passed by him every night, never realizing he was trying to be seen. Day after day, he walked the same road, searching for a way back. When people stopped saying his name, he slowly faded into silence. The world is full of souls still winding their clocks, unaware that time stopped for them long ago. Which of these 5 stories haunt you the most? Share your thoughts in the comments and subscribe for more hidden truths.